Hey guys, okay, you know that writing is a huge emphasis in our English class, that we focus on it a lot, and not just in English class. I know that's probably what you're thinking in your mind, that it's in every class. You know, we write a lot in Bible, we write a lot for summaries, because why? Because communication is super important, and I'm really excited actually about some of the ways that we're going to really focus on that this year. But one thing that we always try to do is try to improve just our basic writing, because one day in some aspect, maybe you're already there, writing is going to be very important to you, whether it's you writing for yourself or that you're appreciating other people's writing in stories that you like, in all different kinds of things, news articles, announcements that people make, speeches that people make, speeches of people that you look up to, public speaking. It doesn't matter. Somehow, some way, writing is going to mean a lot to you. I've talked to you guys about this before. You know, God has given you a special don, a special talent, a special gift, and those gifts are to be used for His honor and His glory, right? Well, writing is a huge way that that can happen, because maybe God has called you to give a Bible study. Maybe God has called you to preach. Maybe God has called you just to be an encouragement to other people. And the way that you write really shows emotion. And so it can be in a professional setting, it can be in a personal setting. Writing is super important. So we're always looking for ways to focus more on it and become better at it every single time. So this is a very short video to introduce the writing rubric I'm going to use this year to grade your writing. Okay, so this may not always be in your English, it may be in Bible and in different things. So you want to find this in your folder. Okay, this is your writing rubric. Actually, I'm going to show it to you on the next page because I have a better picture of it as well. Okay guys, so this is your writing rubric. I'm going to explain all that. My suggestion is that you take it out of your binder, because you have one of your own, so that you can be looking along and really understand what all of it says. Okay, there's some information that we're going to take out, and I'm going to tell you that it's not really necessary, but for the most part, this is exactly what you need to use to make your writing better this year. Why? Okay, this is one of the tools, one of the resources, because it is going to show you the areas that you need to be focusing on in your writing. Okay, all the areas on the left-hand column right there are what I'm going to be looking for in your writing. A rubric is just telling you, where do my points come from? Okay, a rubric is a table that shows you get points for these expectations. If you meet it well, you get all the points. If you meet it más o menos well, you get half the points or some of the points. And then if you try to meet it, but you don't really meet the expectation, you still get some points, but they're not so many. And then your score will be very, very low, okay? So it shows you how you get your points. There's two huge purposes and great aspects to a rubric. One, it shows you your weaknesses and your strengths in your writing so you can get better every time. And two, it explains clearly where your nota comes from in your writing. Okay, so one as a writer is going to help you, and one as a student is going to help you as well. So I'm going to go through and show you what are we going to be looking for in your writing, because this will help you a lot. You can focus in. Okay, I'm really good at this part in writing, but I really struggle here. This is where I need to focus, okay? So let's look at the first one that's in blue, sticks to the topic. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to be looking at in your writing, whether it's English, Bible, doesn't matter, whatever you write for me on, and I'm going to be using this rubric, did you stay on the tema? If you're talking about the book of Acts, did you talk about the book of Acts, or did you talk about too many of the other books, or did you just start going on the life of Paul, and by the end of it, it's all about the life of Paul, but it's not about the book of Acts? What about coronavirus, right? You start talking about coronavirus, but you mention one thing about dengue, how dengue is happening at the same time as coronavirus, and boom, you're on a dengue rabbit trail, kaye, and you stay on that for too long. You didn't stick to the topic. Okay, look what it says on score 1 through 4, improvement needed. You attempted to stick to the topic. That means you're going to get 1 to 4 points out of 100 because you tried. Okay, so depending on how much you tried, that's how many points you're gonna get, 1 through 4. Look at score 5 through 9, on track. You're on your way to doing well with your topic. It says right here, topic is addressed, some prompt questions are answered. Don't worry about the prompt questions. Topic was addressed, okay? You did start out with the Book of Acts, and you kept going back to it, but you were, back and forth. Or you did start out with coronavirus, and you ended with coronavirus, but you kind of didn't give concrete information to stick to the tema the whole time, okay? So you get a 5 through a 9, depending on how well you were close to hitting the mark. And then to get a 10, the biggest score you can get on this one, this aspect, is outstanding. Your topic is addressed. Okay, boom. You only stuck to your topic. It was super important and super well thought out with examples, etc. Okay, that's how you get your 10 points. Okay, one tip, again, let's go back really quick up to stick to the topic. You remember, you guys make your own topic sentences. You pick what your topic sentence is or what your topic paragraph is. So just make it clear. Be prepared. Plan it out well. Remember what I always teach you, brainstorm first. So have your topic sentence, what you want to talk about, and then brainstorm those ideas so that you know that all of your writing is going to stick to that topic. Okay, next one down is logical order. Logical order is all about planning as well. Now you have your theme, your topic sentence, you plan out what you want to talk about, but now you have to put it in a logical order, okay? You can do it chronologically sometimes. Let's say you're going through the Book of Acts. You start at the beginning to the end, okay? What if you didn't with the Book of Acts? What if at the Book of Acts you wanted to talk about Peter, John, Paul, right? So you decide that you're going to talk about Peter first, John first, Paul first. So don't go back and forth. Don't be like, okay, you're mentioning Paul's life, then you're mentioning Peter's life, then you're mentioning John's life, and nobody can keep track, right? It all depends on that topic sentence, because in the topic sentence, you're going to tell them, what is your order? Okay, I'm going to be talking about obviously you don't make a topic sentence like that, I'm going to be talking about, but like say, the Book of Acts is super important to analyze from the beginning to the end. We can see that the church was planted and then it grew, and Paul, at the end, Paul gave his life for it. Something that tells the reader that you're going to be talking about it from beginning to end. Or the Book of Acts is super important to analyze. It focuses on 2 very important disciples of God. One is Peter, the other is Paul. And then people know that you're going to not be doing it chronologically. You're going to be talking about Peter and Paul, Peter and Paul. Okay, so keep that logical order. Look at the scores. You get a 1 through 4, improvement needed if your structure is lacking. If you are all over the place, you're on Peter, Paul, James, John, other disciples that we don't even know about, whatever, then your order isn't focused. Okay, look at 5 through 9. Structure is evident, but improvement is needed. Okay, you are trying, structure's there, you have your paragraphs or you have your supporting sentences, but it could have been better. And you know what a lot of times that is, guys? Is 1, you didn't plan well, like you didn't plan at all, because I know that you think, well, it's an extra step. I'm not going to brainstorm, I'm not going to write my ideas down, I'm just going to go for it and start to write. You go for it and start to write, and you're going to be all over the place, okay? You need to have a little list to help yourself. The other thing that it could be is that you really needed to read it over. You needed to fix a few things. Change a few sentences here, change a few sentences there. And I understand that we don't do that a whole lot here because then you have to copy it all over, okay? But when we get into doing things on the computer sometimes, you can move those sentences really easily to reorder things. But still, right now while you're writing, focus on the planning first, you guys. Make sure that your order is going to be logical. Look how you can get a 10. Structure has inviting, beginning, 3 middles, and a strong conclusion, okay? You know, and I know, that you need more than 3 middle sentences for my paragraphs, okay? We don't do 5-sentence paragraphs. We either do 6 to 8 sentence paragraphs. And most of the time, I will let you know. Okay, if I do not let you know, I prefer 8. Okay, so Mark that in your calendar. Mark that in a book. If I do not let you know that you can do 6 sentences, please do 8. Okay, which means I'm going to get text messages and you're going to ask me, and that's fine. But if I don't tell you, it should be 8. Okay, logical order. Okay, I'm going to start going through these quickly so this video doesn't exceed too much time. Look at the third one. It says challenging vocabulary. Scores 1 through 4. There are no challenging vocabulary words. I'm not going to mention who I sometimes imitate in class because it's not a student. It's a leader, not in our ministry at all. Okay, a president. I'm just going to say a president who speaks a lot with very basic vocabulary, right? Good, bad, horrible, great. Okay, I don't want you to write like that, okay? It's understandable that there is a time and a place for that because you're trying to reach a lot of people, and you need to make sure that the vocabulary can reach everyone, okay? So you need to keep it very basic. But for you, you need to use vocabulary that has synonyms, okay? Synonyms and antonyms and variety in your vocabulary to show your education, but it's not to just to show your education, it's to make it rich, okay? That word you're going to hear a little bit from me over the next couple of days. Make your writing rich. Not rich like money, rich like deeper, that it has meat to it, that it's something worth reading. It's not just a bunch of fluffy nubes. Oh, God is good. He helps us. He has a plan, etc. No, that there is meat, that there is there are examples, there is something to bite into with your writing, and one of those ways is with your vocabulary. So scores 1 through 4, no challenging words. Score 5 through 9, fewer than 5 challenging words are identified in each of your paragraphs. There's like not a lot of challenging words, right? And then score number 10, at least 5 challenging words are identified. So there's rich vocabulary being used. I'm not talking about using words that you don't understand how you put them in. I'm just saying, look for synonyms that are a little bit more complex than happy, sad, good, and bad. Okay, guys, varied sentence pattern just means like challenge yourself in your writing. You don't need to write all your sentences the same where it just sounds like my dog went on a walk, comma, and my cat went too. No, that you can use some questions, you can use excitement, you can inverse the order of your sentences to start with a phrase first. So that means pay attention in grammar class. Okay, don't think like, well, I got one sentence pattern down and I'm good to go with that sentence pattern. No. Learn from grammar class that there are different ways to write a sentence, different ways to add variety, so that, again, your paragraphs and your writing are richer for the reader to read. Look what it says for scores 1 through 4. Writing is lisp-like, lacking fluency. Like, every sentence is the same, you just put different words into it, okay? It's just boring when you read it. If you are bored after you write a summary or something like that, or a challenging paragraph, your reader is going to be bored, I promise you. So like, get into it and have fun with it. It doesn't mean it takes more time. It just means you're going to get a better product. Look what it says, scores 5 through 9. Many sentence patterns contribute to fluency, but improvement is needed. Okay. Fluent means like you can read it like someone is speaking to you. Not informally, okay, not informally, but like the words just flow well because of the way you're putting it all together, okay? You know where a lot of that comes from, you guys, is when you have a desire to write it. I understand that you don't, it's your tanea, you don't want to write it, but there are some times where you guys get excited about the topics that you're writing about, and it shows in your writing and the quality of your writing. So convince yourself that it is worth doing, okay? Look at score 10, a variety of sentence patterns contribute to overall fluency, okay? Vary it up, but that means focus in on grammar class so we can teach you how to do that. Okay, next one, descriptive sentences. Ooh, one of my favorites. Okay, look what it says, score 1 through 4. Sentences are lacking in detail. Paragraphs are not developed. Examples, 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 examples. Say it out loud. I don't care who's looking at you. I'm just kidding. Examples, please. Give me details in your sentences in your paragraphs. If you can't give me stories, we're going to talk all about that this week or next week, one of these weeks, okay? I think it's next week. developing your paragraphs using certain things, okay? And I think that there's 3 or 4 ways to develop your paragraphs well. Develop them, put detail in it, put examples, put, like I said, good vocabulary, put your expectations, put specific things, okay? So, scores 5 through 9, sentences are mostly descriptive, paragraphs are somewhat developed. We're going to talk more about that next week, okay? But it's like, some of it's fluff, some of it's beautiful, okay? Then score 10, sentences are descriptive, paragraphs are developed. Developing your paragraphs, guys, stick with your topic sentence, do your supporting sentences, do your good conclusion. Don't just do it to check it off the list. Oh, I have 8 sentences, Miss Jessica. No, develop them. Convince the reader of that topic sentence. Fully talk about that topic sentence. If you say you're going to tell us about this, tell us about this. And then finish it with a conclusion sentence. That's how you develop it. Okay, almost down to the bottom. Now we're on audience connection. Do you pull your reader in? Do you make them feel like you understand them? Okay, you need to always keep your audience in mind. Remember, that does not mean that you need to use the words you, the words I, etc. Okay? Just so you remember from last year, unless it is a Bible psalm where you're talking about your opinion or I ask you about your personal opinion, in summaries, you should not use the word your personal pronouns. Your personal pronouns, okay? I, you, me, we, anything that includes me or anything that includes your reader personally. Because why? It's not professional. It doesn't sound like you have credibility because it's all about your opinion. Well, what if they don't want your opinion? And 2, it could be offensive because you're telling them what to do and telling you what to do. And they need to have the option when they're reading it that they don't have to listen or they can take the advice if they want to because that's respectful, okay? When you're writing professionally. In your opinion, it's your opinion, so you need to tell them that's what it is. But audience connection is that you think through what they need to hear. It's done well, it's done professionally, it has good language that's easy to understand so the reader isn't confused. Okay, look what it says in scores 1 through 4. No connection is made with the audience. Number 5 through 9. Some connection is made with the audience. And 10, there is strong audience connection. Okay, that means that you stay focused. They want to know about the Bible, you're going to tell them about the Bible. They want to know about coronavirus, you're going to tell them about coronavirus. You're not going to be offensive, but you're going to be informational. You're not going to be insulting, you're going to be informational. Okay, and we'll talk more about that as we go along. Okay, I highlighted the last 4 because we call those the mechanics. Those are the little finishing touches, okay, the little details that make a huge difference, guys, okay? They may seem small, they may not seem like a big deal, but they are. Capitalization, punctuation, spelling, and grammar, okay? If you have a lot of errors in all these, you're capitalizing things that shouldn't be capitalized, you're not capitalizing where, that's easy stuff, guys. Punctuation is easy stuff. Spelling can be checked. And grammar is paying attention in class again. Verb agreement with your subject. Okay. Things are, not things is. You are, not you is. Different things like that. Your S at the end of a verb. She walk is not grammatically correct. She walks. Right? Remember that S at the end. So those things matter because those things will make somebody not want to read your stuff fast. Okay? In the professional world, if you have one error, you lose credibility. Okay? You definitely lose credibility that you take it seriously, that you're doing it with excellence. So focus on those things as well. If you have a lot of errors, you're going to get less points. Bottom line. So like I said before, guys, this is not stuff that you did not know. It's just stuff to focus on. Why? Because you need to check your writing. You need to plan for your writing. You need to check your writing. You need to make improvements on your writing. Obviously, there's going to be like weekly summaries. They should flow out, right? Everyday Psalms, they should come out. There doesn't need to be a lot of planning. It doesn't need to be a long process because you're writing every day, writing every week for your Bible summary. But when you are given one topic, tell me what is better, capitalism or socialism, right? Then you better plan that thing. You get one chance to convince somebody of that theme. It's not a continual thing. You're not journaling every day. So do it well. Plan it. Read it over. Check that you follow everything. If not, rewrite it because it's worth it to do it well. These documents right here on this pen thigh on the screen are just going to show you what you may receive back when I grade some things. The long one shows you the requisitos again and how you got them, so you know what areas to improve and what areas you're doing well on. And then the little one, when you guys get more used to it, or it's a little assignment and you don't need the full description of everything, I'll put it there on what points you get for each section to convert it into your note. That okay? That is your rubric. Remember, rubric is what? Where do you get your points, and what are your points based on? So this is your writing rubric for the year for anything you write in English. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.